Hey there, I'm Tim Davis, Technical Product Marketing at Spacelift, and today we're going to talk about the 4 steps needed to get going with Spacelift Intent. If we come down here on our website, we can find them clear as day. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to connect Spacelift to our cloud accounts. This can be one cloud account or multiple cloud accounts, and you can actually set up different cloud accounts per intent project. Once we're done with that, we're going to connect our LLM to the Spacelift MCP server so that we can talk naturally and describe our infrastructure exactly like we want it deployed, which is step number 3. Step number 4, we'll then be able to see all of the things that we're creating and a history of what happened to give you full control over the speed of deployment using AI with Spacelift Intent. So let's jump into the platform and start with step number 1. We see here we've got our integrations and we've got our AWS cloud integration. Once you go through the documentation, it'll help you set it up for your ARN that you're going to need in order to make this work. We also have a sample trust policy here that you can go ahead and grab for that. We've already got that set up and ready to go. So we're going to jump into our intent project now, and we're going to attach our AWS integration into intent so that it can actually use that for deployments. So we're going to select this one right here. We're going to do US East 1, and we're going to make sure to mark that as read and write for access. And we'll attach. So you can see we've got our AWS integration attached, and bingo, that's step number 1. Let's move on to step number 2 and connect our LLM. For this, I'm using Claude Desktop, but you can also use pretty much anything that will allow you to attach a custom MCP server. And we'll go ahead and edit config here. There's going to be a JSON file that we need to edit to add our MCP server. I've got a little clip here of the spec file that I need that points to my Spacelift MCP server instance. We'll go ahead and save that. And now, once we save it, we'll need to quit and quickly restart Claude here, and that'll allow us to connect to our MCP server. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's check our settings. Go to Developer, and we see now that we have our Intent MCP server up and running. Now let's go and do step number 3, which is naturally deploy infrastructure using the AI with language that you would use in your LLM already. So let's say, can you help me deploy an EC2 instance using Amazon Linux that is a T3.micro size? And let's see what happens. All right, looks like our instance is completely deployed here. We can see our instance ID, we can see the type and the AMI that it's using, we can see its status, network details, and everything like that. But let's go in and see what happened on the back end in Spacelift here. So we can come to our intent project and look at resources, and hey, look at that. We've got our resource ID of Amazon Linux T3 Micro. This is exactly what we asked for, and that was all created in the quick 4 steps that we have with intent of connecting our cloud account, then coming through and connecting our MCP server. We used natural language to deploy an infrastructure resource, and now we're utilizing the visibility of being able to see exactly what happened, including the history of all of the things that happened in our intent instance. If you have more questions about this, or you would like to sign up for the early access program, feel free to check us out at spacelift.io.